So how do you draw the line between like expectations and standards? When is it a good thing to have expectations? When is it not?
Okay, so if you've got high expectations for the quality of people that you want in your life, so that means you're not going to tolerate when people are shit, when people do the wrong thing by you.
But is that an expectation or a standard?
It could be.
If you cannot get upset, did you really have the expectation? Or
Yeah.
was it more hope than belief? Because if you genuinely believe something should be a certain way and it doesn't go that way, that's upsetting. But if you hope or would like it to, it's a little bit different. How do you separate? Because then I'm like, well, fuck, expectations are bad. But then I'm like, but are they?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely to have you here.
Howdy doody.
Howdy doody. Hope you're having a $1 million day.
And if you're not, by the end of this,
You will
as
be.
always, yeah.
You will be.
Whether you listen to it day, night,
Running, swimming,
yeah, both.
boating, wherever you
Boating.
listen to your podcasts.
Boating.
Thanks for joining us,
You,
guys.
do you like boats?
I fucking love boats.
Do you?
Yeah.
You don't strike me as a boat guy.
I love the water.
Oh,
So,
kinda makes sense.
However,
Boats.
I'm on the water.
yeah.
It's happy.
We should.
I've got a jet ski. Yeah.
You let me
ridden
ride
it,
it. Yeah.
And then Nicole
It was
told
the
you
first
off.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got told off. But that was the first time I ever rode a jet ski.
Yeah, and it inspired you to go, fuck, I've got to get
Inspired
one.
me to change my whole life.
Change your life.
Just
Make
like this
$1 million
podcast
bucks.
does.
Make $1 million in a day and you can go get one. Just one. Each for every day.
One
for
for
each day.
each day.
I'm pumped. Really happy to be here again. This is a good thing.
This
This is a good thing. We've
What,
got a good
the-
thing going.
The podcast.
The podcast.
It's my highlight of the week.
Hey, I
I
reckon
look forward to it so much, man.
every single week we get at least a comment through social media. Boys,
Yeah, someone-
love it.
yeah, someone
hey
saying
guys,
something.
amazing work, amazing comment, amazing everything. So it's cool that we're reaching some of you and that you're enjoying it, and we want to continue to bring heaps of value and some laughs along the way.
I've also added the page where people can actually put in their topics.
Yeah,
And
cool.
I'll get it put into what's it called, the show notes.
Show notes.
I'll get it put somewhere. You'll see it on the screen. You'll do it. It'll be somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it'll be in the thing. Maybe it won't.
And whether you do or don't, it's still going to be a great listen.
Yeah,
Because we've got
exactly.
some sick topics. We don't stop. There's so many things you could always talk about. And how many times have you heard it? Probably more so you than me, because you're in the space of branding and marketing every single day. It's like, oh, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to do. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm just a florist. Oh, what could I build to talk about? What could a teacher talk about? I was watching a video the other day, and I can't even remember what it's called. It's called The Lawn Mower Guy or some shit like that. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Have you ever seen the time-lapse videos of a guy cutting lawn?
No, but it sounds pretty satisfying.
Yeah, well, it's probably, I imagine it is, because the guy's got like close to 1 million followers, and all he does is he knocks on people's doors and goes, and this is an Australian guy, but I don't think he started the trend. There was some bloke in America that did it. And he goes and knocks on people's doors and says, hey, I pick someone once a week to mow their lawn for free. He picks a lawn that's really overgrown and whatnot. He goes, I just do it out of the goodness of my heart. We just share it across our social media pages, and then that's how I get business and referrals and all that sort of shit. Anyway, this guy, just from simply filming himself in a time-lapse video cutting people's lawns, has made millions and millions of followers on social media. And there's a guy in Australia somewhere, and he does that exact same thing, and he's got 900 and something thousand followers from cutting lawn. So if you're sitting there and you're saying, I don't know what the fuck to do in my brand, you're just making bullshit excuses.
Yeah, or you haven't sat down and found a good way to think.
Yeah, be a
Like
little bit
brainstorm.
creative. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
dude, I read this thing. I actually share this with some of my clients. It's a great template you can use to punch into like AI now for it to, because this is the biggest mistake people are making when they make content. They're getting AI to do everything. And I put up a tweet about it today. And you can't get it to do everything, but you can get it to do the thinking, get it to give you the topics, and then talk about what you like. Get it to give you 50 different ideas, and then pick 6 that you like, and then
Yeah.
go and talk about it. If you're an expert on it. If you're not, maybe you should make content about something else. True?
Yeah, without a doubt. And sometimes you don't even need to be an expert. You just need to love it.
That's true, yeah. But you know
Yeah,
what?
imagine-
When you love it, you end up being an expert by
right.
default.
Yeah. Imagine you love peanut butter so much.
I do.
And then you create a channel and dedicate a channel to it.
I will. Now,
Can't
that I have
wait
to.
see it.
It's
Now it's out there. But as silly as that sounds, there's people there that'll be like, man, I love peanut butter so much, it's my favourite thing. I bet you there's fucking pages out there right now.
Dude.
If you go onto Facebook or Instagram, someone tag me. Tag me in a fucking Instagram in a post about peanut butter, right? And there's someone out there that loves it so much, he's tried all the different peanut butters across the world. He travels to factories that actually make the stuff. He speaks to the CEO. He would have hundreds of thousands of millions of followers just because he loves peanut butter, and he himself is probably a millionaire as a result of that.
But do you know why people don't do it? I think
Yeah.
it's because they expect it to happen like this.
Yeah, I mean, I had this conversation with a whole group of people yesterday about building brand, and I was talking about it as far as this year, I have had more inquiries into my business in the first 2 weeks than I reckon I did all of 23.
How good.
And that is...
I love to hear that, dude.
Bro, and that
As
is
a guy
coming...
that runs your ads.
Yeah, you motherfucker.
I love to hear
good's that. But that has come from branding and from
100%.
advertising.
Yeah, and not just that, like even doing the events, and then the people seeing you do that, and then you get positioned. Dude, even like me just speaking at your events, people are coming with me. They're like, "Are you a keynote speaker?"
Yeah. How good's that?
I'm not, but yeah, like it's perception.
I am for $200,000 a fucking half-hour session.
Yeah, it's all perception, right?
Yeah.
Like people see what you allow them to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool. It is so cool, and these are top-notch projects too. Like they're jobs that I would definitely do. Now, not to say I'm going to win all of them, but how good is it that I've got a flow of work coming through the door? Honestly, it's more than I can probably take on right now. That's how much work I have. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take it all on because I'm not here to fuck spiders.
Yeah, exactly. I love that saying.
I don't understand it. I
love
don't get it.
Me,
that's why I like it so much. I do not understand the concept.
But I get it.
How good's Aussie slang?
Yeah.
There's
I don't get it, but I
things-
get it.
Yeah. There's so many things that you could be like, what did you just say? Like people from overseas, they'd be like, what the hell are you talking about?
You know, people don't do what they need to do because of expectation. Like they get let down when they don't get the result they want in the time they want.
Yeah.
And they think...
Are you talking in general or with brand?
Well, regarding brand, but in general, everything. Yeah, but with brand particularly. But people don't do it because they think... Anyone thinks they can put an event on.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen overnight. You know, and we spoke about this on episode 1, that there was pre-work. It wasn't an overnight sensation. It wasn't a... wow, we ran good ads and got good engagement and we found a gap in the market and all of a sudden this thing blew up. It was the content you had posted regularly for the 5 years leading up to
exactly.
the hey, come to the summit.
Yeah, exactly right.
But people don't see that.
And
because for a long time you wouldn't have started, like the level of engagement you get now, you wouldn't have had that at the start.
No chance.
If you did, you're doing something wrong. But like, or you did something very right back then. But like, I feel like it's expectation, dude. And I feel like expectation takes away our happiness from everything that is enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I agree with that comment.
And I'll tell you why.
Please.
The other night I called you
Yeah.
and I was stuck on the side of the road and I had something happen to me that hasn't happened for a long time. I had a flat battery.
Yeah.
I haven't had a flat battery in... I couldn't even tell you the last time I had a flat battery. I didn't even know how much jumper cables are going to be.
Yeah.
Dude, how much do you think jumper cables are?
Honestly, if I had to go buy some from the servo.
Dude, I was like...
Servo? You went to a servo?
I went to a servo.
Well, now that you've said it like that, but if you just said to me, hey, how much do you reckon jumper? I'd say $40.
Oh, man, I had such a higher expectation.
Oh, you're saying they're cheap?
Dude, they were $30 at 7-Eleven.
Oh, there you go.
I remember buying jumper cables back in I used to be a mechanic.
Yeah.
I bought lots of jumper cables. I remember paying $55 for a good set of jumper cables from like a
Probably
Repco
could. You probably
or
still
something.
could.
Yeah, but then this was years ago.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, dude, I'm going to get stung like $150 now. And then I walk in and they're $30. And I'm like, $30?
Give me two.
Yeah, I might buy two just in case this one doesn't work. But anyway, so I called you that night. I was stuck on Bay Street in Port Melbourne.
I told you, fuck off.
Yeah, you did it. You're like, I'll come pick you up now. I was like, no, kick back. Anyway, went, picked up jumper cables, and I jump started my car and I drove home. Started straight away, drove home. You talk about expectation, right? So the next morning, I went home that night, went to sleep. I thought I'll sort it out in the morning. I'll call a mechanic, get the battery replaced, whatever. And I wake up the next morning, and I knew I can't go to the gym. I can't do anything. I need to drive this thing straight to the mechanic. There's a chance it'll start and it won't start again. So I said, let me see if it starts. So the first thing I did, I got up at it was about 7, and I ran downstairs and I thought, let me see if it starts. And I started it, and it started. I was like, all right, cool. Go get ready, have a shower, packed all my shit, ready to go. Found a mechanic, waited till 8:30, called him. Yeah, you're good. Can I bring it in now? Blah, blah, blah. All right, done. Went, put all my shit in the car, jump in.
Dead.
Nothing. And I'm like, and dude, I'm pretty good at flipping the script, like seeing the positive or controlling. I'm a pretty well emotionally regulated person. And I reckon probably after sitting there for like 45 minutes trying to work out, because I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do, dude. The car's in a basement. I live in a small building. I went and knocked on every single door of every person's car that was there. Not one person answered. And I'm sitting there, and dude, I spat the dummy, cracked the shits. I was at the point. I called a guy, and I was like, "Can you? His thing is jumpstart. He'll come jumpstart your car." I was like, "How much to jumpstart my car?" He's like, "What area are you in?" I was like, "Q." And he's like, $90. And I'm like, $90 to come jumpstart? Are you serious? And then I thought, you know what? Fuck this guy. I hung up on him, and I was like,
Fuck this guy.
yeah. And I was
He's
like,
trying to help you.
yeah, no, fuck him, dude. $90. And I was like, I might just go and run down onto the street and wave a 50. And I'll say, hey, who wants to make a quick $50? Just drive your car down here. I'll hook it up. We'll fire it up.
Yeah.
And I'll go. And
So you're standing on a corner of a street
dude,
waving $50.
Listen.
So you sound like a
I
prostitute.
ran
right
out. Yeah, I know. It gets worse. I ran out to the street. Couldn't find anyone. Came back. And I'm sitting there thinking, what am I going to do, man? Like, what? I actually don't know
Surely
what my
someone in that building was going to leave.
So that's what I was waiting for. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there waiting on my car bonnet thinking someone's going to have to come down.
Do you know what? Can I just interject? All right? Serves you fucking right.
Why?
Because I bet you all those fuckers in your building are all working from home, and you were the biggest advocate for it a few fucking episodes ago.
Hey, I fucking answer the door if you're working.
Yeah, that's
I feel
the
like
other
most of them weren't even awake.
Yeah, do you know why? Because they know they can sleep until fucking 8:30.
It was like,
AM.
dude, at this point, it's like
Or
9:30.
9:30. They know they can sleep in because they're
I've been
working
stuck.
from home.
Yeah, I've been stuck. And I'm like, dude, I'd say I spat the dummy at this point, cracked the shits, shitty with all my neighbours, shitty with everything. Like, you know, when you just, and I rarely do it, but
Start
I've
slashing
cracked the shits
tires.
at this point.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm stumped and I don't know what to do. And a guy at the door opens, the garage door starts opening slowly. And I'm like, someone's pulling in. This is fucking sick. And then a guy pulls in that's never been to the building before and goes and parks in a visitor spot. I run to his car like run to him, hassle him. He doesn't speak English.
Oh, of course.
So I go through his whole hand movement thing. Anyway, I get him to come over and I jumpstart the car. Dude, I'm leaving my basement and I am over the fucking moon. Pumped. Yeah, like pumped. And like clapping my hands, like so pumped. And then I thought, what am I so happy about now? Like, what is it in this moment right now that I'm so happy about? I'm like, well, the car started. And they're like, but the car starts every day. Like,
Yeah, why you pumped that?
Yeah.
Why are you so pumped then?
Why aren't I so pumped then? And then I thought, well, I kind of expect the car to start on the other days. And then I thought to myself, holy shit. Dude, I always think there's a lesson. Every time something shit happens to you, there's a lesson. In that moment, I was so pissed off, I couldn't work out how this was going to be good. And then as soon as it started, I got the lesson. And I was like, where else in my life do I have these expectations of things to be a certain way in which it's not like that moment just then, because you expect your car to start, or because you expect it, it's not allowing you to be happy about it. Dude, I practice gratitude almost every day. Not once have I ever been grateful for my car starting. Not once. Not once. Guess what I was grateful for this morning? My car starting. But yeah, it's like, where else in my life do I have this expectation for things to be a certain way? And they are that way. And it's allowing me to not be happy about it or not be grateful or appreciate it or be grateful for it. You know what I mean? And where else is expectation taking away that level of happiness?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
absolutely. It's so good.
Bit of background music. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, so true.
Yeah, and I was
So
like,
true.
I was startled.
But
at
you can
the
look
end.
at that. You can look at that in so many areas. Like,
Yeah.
How grateful is one of your grateful things that you could walk or get up out of bed without pain-free out of bed,
No.
or simply walk to the fridge or to the toilet. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then it's not until you break your leg.
I
you're
do.
like,
I do. No, I do limbs and stuff all the
Yeah.
time.
So
Grateful we got 2 arms.
2 arms,
Yeah, and it's like, where else?
11 fingers.
Where else in your life is this showing up? Where else in your life do you have this level of expectation that's either making you feel shitty about something because you think it should be a certain way, or is it the way it's meant to be, but because you expect it, it's not allowing you to feel a level of happiness you could, or a level of appreciation or gratitude?
Fuck.
That's-
Started deep this podcast, didn't it? And we're not even into the topic yet, are we? Tell me we're not into the topic. That's not the topic.
Honestly, that was just a really smooth transition. The topic was
how good was that?
expectations.
Is it? Oh, sick.
I didn't tell you.
I don't
That
know
was just a
I didn't know what it was.
smooth transition, man. Did you like that?
I did.
I knew you did not even know.
I had no idea. No idea. I was waiting for you to tell me it was
But I wanted to talk about. Expectations.
cool.
And you know how do you define? Because then, dude, this is me talking to myself. Yeah, not now, but I'll share with you my thought process. How do you separate? Because then I'm like, well, fuck, expectations are bad. But then I'm like, but are they?
Yeah.
If I had no expectations, I would probably tolerate anything and I'd have a bunch of shitty things in my life. So how do you draw the line between like expectations and standards? When is it a good thing to have expectations? When is it not? You know, and just sort of delve deep into this is good. You weren't ready for this.
No, I'm ready to turn my mic off.
Yeah.
That's it. Episode's over.
And how do we separate the two?
Yeah, because they can work
Standards
both ways.
are a
They
good
can work both ways, can't they?
Expectations.
Yeah, as in it can be a positive thing and a negative thing in the sense that.
So how can it be a positive thing?
Okay, so if you've got high expectations for the quality of people that you want in your life, so that means you're not going to tolerate when people are shit, when people do the wrong thing by you.
But is that an expectation or a standard?
It could be, yeah, it could be a standard. But no, I expect you to walk in here. Oh, it could be a standard as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're one and the same.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But
Because-
then say you've got expectations that, okay, New Year's Eve. Right, everyone expects New Year's Eve to be like, it's meant to be it's always hyped up to be the best night ever and it's going to be an amazing experience, a new year, new me, new experiences, new this, new that. And then you have New Year's Eve and it's like, it's just another fucking day. Or it's another night out. There was nothing really truly magical about it. But you hype it up in your head. Oh, we're going here, we're doing this, and then perhaps it doesn't work out to be that way. Like I hear so many people now these days saying, oh, New Year's is just overrated. But that could be an expectation of that too, that they expect it to be shit. And it probably could be.
Oh yeah, because you could have bad expectations.
Yeah, so, but even now...
Well, hold on. So if you expect, okay, so if you expect something to be bad and then it's standard, you're pretty like, hey, this is not bad.
Not bad.
Do you know what I mean? But you could have the exact same thing.
Expect it to be super amazing and it's standing and be like, oh, what a disappointment.
Yeah, and you're like, this sucks. And the thing didn't change.
Because I've heard people say stuff like, don't lower your expectations, and then when it's better, then at least you'll be, you'll have a level of happiness or
But that person's always
like
always a brokey.
Yeah.
Like it's always some bum.
Yeah.
And if you've said that before, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
Sorry about
bad luck.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
You can tune out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I would say, generally speaking, I would have high expectations across the board.
Yeah, I feel like I would too.
So, we're going on a holiday, we're going on a trip, got a new business venture coming up, I've got a new project on pricing. I would generally have a positive expectation with that. I'm not going to go in and price a job going, fuck, there's no chance I'm winning this job. Because then, okay, do you believe in manifestation and manifesting things too?
Yes.
Isn't that a level of expectation?
Is it?
Potentially. I'm manifesting that, hey, I want to have this, or I'm going to have this experience, or I'm going to be this type of person.
So what are the positive benefits to having high expectations?
You will maybe subconsciously put things into motion to have that thing come to fruition. On a subconscious level, but also on an action level too. Like if I'm going to go to Las Vegas.
But see, isn't that standards more than expectations? Like, isn't that I won't tolerate, like this is the level we work at, not I expect this of myself? Like, is there a difference between the two?
Well, that doesn't, when you say it like that, not really. coming down to the definition of the words, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is there a difference between the two? Like, are standards the same thing as expectations? Because having high standards, I don't see that as a bad thing at all. But post this experience, I'm like, well, this was all an expectation thing. I was super pumped about something that happens to me most days just because I thought it wasn't going to happen. And every other day, I've never been happy about it, not even once.
Yeah, I mean, so you're expecting to be able to stand up off your chair? You expect to be able to stand up after this podcast and walk to the bathroom or to the sink or wherever.
Yeah, okay, so you know what? That's a good point. Imagine I was like, you had your expectations were that low. You were like, wow. Like, and every time your car started, you were pumped.
Yeah.
That's not a great thing as well. That kind of would be weird.
Reminds me of that movie Elf with Will Ferrell. Have you seen it? Of course you haven't fucking seen it. Never seen a movie in your life. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Told you to watch Super Pumped. Have you watched Super Pumped?
Of course I haven't watched it.
What are you doing, man? Everyone, go on Stan. Subscribe to Stan for 48 hours.
Yeah, Robbie gets his kickback after that.
Super Pumped.
This podcast brought to you by Stan.
Yeah. Proudly sponsored by Uber.
Pull your finger out, guys. We need some sponsors.
Yeah.
Who wants to sponsor us?
Already asked.
Little plug? Yeah, fuck it. Why not? What are we? 17, 18 episodes deep.
Do you...
A big 2-0 soon. We're going to be part of the 1% club.
Episode 17, I think?
No, it's
or
18. No, this one's 18, I think.
18? 19. Might be 19.
Is it?
This might be 19.
Exciting.
One more and we're at the 1% club.
We're in the 1% club.
And then we get a hat. Do you expect to get a sponsor?
Oh, no.
So
Don't care. I don't care.
So if you got one, you'd be wrapped.
Oh, if I got one. Yeah, exactly. You would. Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if
would
you
you,
got
yeah,
one-
if someone calls us up right now and say, hey, we want to sponsor the show.
You're like, this is sick.
Fucking oath. Okay, yeah, we started at $53,000 for the opening credit.
Setting the expectations
Per episode.
high.
Yeah, was that
So-
an expectation? Is it a standard? Like, what are you trying? That's what I mean. I'm finding some difficulty in the definition of the words.
Differentiating the two.
Yeah, because you can always bring them back to each other.
Do you think there's a relation between, are they the same thing? Can you use the word expectation everywhere you could use the word standards? Why would there be two words?
What? Yeah. Anyway. I didn't write the English language.
What's the difference between expectations
For context, we are Googling right now.
and standards? Yeah, I'm not talking like that. A standard is a level of quality, something that is accepted as a norm and generally used as a basis for judgment. An expectation is a strong belief that something is going to happen. In the
there you
future,
go.
Or a feeling that someone or something is going to achieve something.
So expectation.
One
belief.
is fact, the other is fiction.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Shit.
So, yeah, so your feeling or belief of a future event is pretty much an expectation. I'm going to the Grand Prix. I'm expecting it to be sick. I'm expecting to have a really good time. I'm taking clients. I'm expecting to have an expectation that they will be grateful for me to spend $2,000 on taking them into a corporate box. I'm expecting that they're going to give me more work as a result of this. So the standard would then be, hey, I'm taking you here. I've got that job in the bag, yeah? Like, yep, you do. So I've got that expectation. Now, what happens when I go to the Grand Prix and they're like, fuck, this is the most boring thing I've ever done in my life. And you're like, bro, I've just fucking spent $3,000 on a ticket. We've got all you can eat, all you can drink. And he turns around and says, I hate cars. I'm all about electric.
Yeah.
And
I can't believe you brought me here.
And I'm fasting.
And
I've been fasting for 6 days.
And it's my daughter's birthday.
And it's my daughter's birthday. And I don't drink alcohol. So, like, fuck you. But I had the expectation that this is going to be such a great event, so much fun, and now he's just brought it all the way down. Now it's a drainer.
So expectations can have some good and have some bad.
Yeah. But then that probably comes down to your training a little bit too. Okay, so if it is a bad, you've got the expectation now, I've got the expectation that I'm going to go to the Grand Prix, it's going to be an amazing experience for everyone and everything that we do there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have so much fun. It's going to be a great 3 days that we've got tickets for it. And then when I get there and it's not because of something else happening, do I let myself be upset by that? Like you were cracking the shits this morning with your car or the other morning with your car?
Yeah.
Or do I go, you know what, that's cool. I'm still having fun. I'm still going to enjoy this. Didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but this is not, I don't regret it. I don't regret coming here. I don't regret spending the money. I don't regret inviting that person who's a trainer because the other two people that are also here are having a fun time. So he can bring his own mood down, doesn't need to bring mine down. So maybe it does come down to a level of your training when it comes to how you react to the result of that expectation. Bad or good.
Yeah, that's a fair call. I agree with that. Okay. If you cannot get upset, did you really have the expectation? Or was it more hope than belief? Because if you genuinely believe something should be a certain way and it doesn't go that way, that's upsetting. But if you hope or would like it to, it's a little bit different. Does that make sense? A hope is more like, I wish this of this, whereas a belief is something you think is the way it should be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you are easily like, yeah, okay, look, I would have liked it if this had happened or if this was a better day or whatever it is, but it didn't, but I'm not going to let it get me down. Well, then did you really believe? Did you really have that high level of expectation from it? Because when you and like put the car example aside, like let's just say, for example, when you get told like about a particular food or a particular restaurant or a movie, and then they're like, hey, this is sick. You gotta see it. I'm telling you now, I'm not oversold super pumped. Just on the side note. I'm telling you. Trust me. Raise your expectations. Yeah. It's sick.
Yeah, so now I'll go watch it. And I'm thinking this is going to be the best doco I've ever seen in my life. I'm thinking about the best doco I've ever seen.
Yeah, better.
I'm thinking about it right now.
Trust me.
And I'm like, it's got to be better than that. I'm so excited to watch this thing. And then I watch it. I'm like, what the fuck's Robbie on about?
Yeah. Okay. So on that side note, how much have I raised the expectations for it?
Yeah.
Now watch it and then report back on this podcast and let people know how damn good it was. Yeah. But yeah, you know how when like someone tells you about a movie or a restaurant or anything like that, and then you go, and it could be a fairly decent place. It could be a fairly decent movie, and then you go and you watch it, but because your expectations are here, and then the movie's here, which is still good, you're let down.
How funny. Last night, I went to a restaurant and it was voted Melbourne's best restaurant of 2023.
What was it called?
I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember.
How do you know?
I don't know.
Where was it?
The city. Fuck, how can I
Melbourne's best restaurant of 2023. That's massive.
I'm going to try and message someone and find out.
This guy. You obviously didn't make the booking.
Nah, I didn't.
Well, tell us, how was it?
I didn't, I've been to Glenda Po Cafe, which served Vietnamese food down the road, which I rated better.
Mrs. Wong's?
Yeah, down there, Mrs. Wong's. Right. I'm just finding out this restaurant. Last night, there we go. So I look at that and go, well, that was sold to me. We're going to the best restaurant. Before we were going there, I actually had no idea we were going there. And we're going to the number one voted restaurant in Melbourne. I'm thinking, Jesus, cannot wait. I love food. How good is this going to be? I'm going to eat like an animal and people are going to look at me funny. And then, the food was nice. Like, I'm not going to say it was bad food. It was good service. I don't even know. They had some seafood there. They had some meat. They had pasta. Like, it was a bit of a mix of cuisines. But and everything was nice that I ate. Like, I ate it all. It was all good. But I didn't leave there going, I'm not rushing back.
Why?
But then how? Because I didn't think the food was that nice. Like, I didn't think the food was at that level, that expectation. I was expecting like my taste buds to explode, that this was going to be the best meal I've ever had. And like, where do we sign up? Where do we come back next week? And apparently can't even get a table at this joint. Like, that's how full on it is at the moment.
It's obviously a very good restaurant.
Yeah, like, it was a nice restaurant. Great service, good location, nice vibe in the restaurant. So if you take into consideration everything, maybe that's part of the rating and how it got to where it is. But overall, the food, like, to me, the biggest part of going to a restaurant is the food.
Well, I'm not going for the lights.
Well, exactly. So yes, that can contribute to the ambience and the service and all that sort of jazz. Here we go. Let's see what it's called.
Let's see what it's called.
Gimlet.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been there?
You should. I just jerried that where you were.
Yeah.
No, I've never been there. I've heard of it.
Yeah, but it was nice. As I said, not bad, but the expectation that was put on me going to this restaurant, number one restaurant in Victoria, I'm thinking, holy shit. Now, and then it was funny, I was speaking to my driver on the way home, and he goes, where'd you go? I said, here. And he goes, oh, what was it like? I said, yeah, it was all right. I go, probably would have preferred a nice steak. Then we started talking. He goes, oh, I love the Railway Hotel. I said, yeah, you know what? I would have much preferred the Railway Hotel than this place, as far as the food was concerned. And I'm like, well,
So that's the biggest plug for the railway.
it's proudly brought to you by. But you know what I mean? In that regard, they make a good steak. I like the food, good wine, and I enjoy that. So I looked at that place and I thought that to me was a better meal than what this one was. How did that get voted number one?
So
The expectation was here, but I was like, down there.
Yeah. So having the high expectations from the rating didn't allow you to enjoy it as much.
But the food? No, my taste buds didn't allow me to enjoy it as much. Maybe someone else there thought it was amazing.
Oh, so you genuinely believe? So had you had no standards?
I didn't have a bad time there.
No.
I didn't like pick up the table and throw it across the room.
You're like,
And go, order the fucking salmon.
no. So what'd you eat? You ate salmon?
No, there wasn't any
There
salmon.
wasn't any salmon. So my question to you was this: I said, hey, I know this place, let's just pop in here. And we just popped in and ate.
Yeah, and then it was sick food. Like, what? How have I not known about this place my whole life?
But do you think that could have been the experience you had with different expectations?
Oh, I wouldn't really, if you just said, hey, let's go for a bite, I wouldn't
Yeah.
really have any expectations.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So all I've done by saying, hey, let's go for a bite is change your expectations of what we're going to eat.
Yeah. But then someone pre-framed that and said, this is going to be an amazing experience, or we're going to the number. They didn't even say it was great. They just said to me, I put the expectation on the place. Because they said, we're going to the number one restaurant in Victoria.
Which is, so that rating made you set your expectation
It's up
bar
there,
up here.
Yeah, that's it.
Number one.
Got to be better than any steak I've ever had.
This is going to be the best food I've ever had.
Yeah. Has to be.
It's pretty...
It's number one. How could you be a 6 for food and be number one in the eyes of
6!
I'm just saying, like, how could you be the number one restaurant and not have the best fucking food on the planet?
Gimlet.
Do you know what I mean?
6. Wow. 4.6 stars on Google.
There you go.
It was all right.
Yeah, it's nice. As I said, I didn't have a bad experience there. I'm just saying, was it a 10 out of 10? No.
Yeah, but that's based on your expectations.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So it's going to be... You probably won't be able to answer this, but I'm trying to get an idea of what was everyone else's experience like?
I didn't ask. But everyone had
You
his
just
enjoyable.
leave that upset at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking.
I'll just stop talking.
Not talking to anyone. This has been the worst. I can't believe this place is a 6.
Yeah.
It's just 6. That's 3 stars. That's a stab.
Safe to say they're not sponsoring us anytime soon.
Well, maybe they will. Maybe they won't.
Who knows?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. So how could
They're
you...
going to give us a 3-star rating on our podcast.
Okay. And look, I think it's human nature to do that, right? Because you're going to make a judgment based on the rating.
Yeah.
And how do we control that? Yeah, what could you have done differently? Or
So I've heard, like, even let's go back to movies. It's probably a good one. It's like you've seen Oscar-winning movies. The Lord of the Rings won like something ridiculous as far as Oscars are concerned. Nicole, my wife would never watch a single one of those movies ever. And if I made her watch it, saying this is the best movie ever, this is sick, and then she watches it, she'll fucking karate kick me in the head.
it's subjective.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing with food. Like if you go to the best
that could
seafood
be it
restaurant
too.
and you don't like seafood.
Yeah, that could be a bit of it too. Maybe it was I wouldn't necessarily say that place was fine dining, but maybe that's what the style of food that it was didn't tickle my fancy.
I'm curious. I might go. I just want to know.
If you want a 6,
I want to see how.
Now I've talked it down so much, you'll be go there and go, what? This lobster's the best thing I've ever had.
And then that would be a really good example of how expectations can both make or break anything you do.
Yeah, but me going there, that didn't ruin my experience going to this restaurant. Do you know what I mean? And if you said to me, "Oi, let's go to Gimlet tonight," okay, cool, let's go. So we go past.
I can't take it seriously.
Can we go past the Railway Hotel first?
You'd go, yeah.
Just for an appetizer. I just want to eat before I go there.
Before I go sit in the lights. And what do you call it? Ambience.
Ambience. Shit.
All right, so how do we, off the cuff here, but how do we control expectations? What do you do? How?
Do you need to?
Oh.
Do you need to? Like, what's the advantage or disadvantage of controlling your expectations? Should you just go in medium with everything? Do you know what I mean? So whether it's good or whether it's bad, you've got that. You've got a 5 out of 10 for everything. You are monotone.
Do you think you can have low expectations and high standards?
Well, this high standards is a fact. Expectations is a belief.
Yeah. It conflicts in my mind massively.
That's why I'm not answering, because my brain's like upside down and left and right.
Can you have high standards and low expectations?
Yeah. I think you can.
Would that not be the best outcome for the two combined?
Yeah. Yeah. You can have some high standards, which you have an expectation. You can have that high standard, which is the fact. And your expectation can be relatively low. Yeah, you can. And then, because I've heard people say, if you have low expectations, then you're not ever going to be disappointed. Then you'll never be disappointed.
Yeah, but you also feel like, so your thing about having high expectations
then
was
low
that
beliefs as well.
You'll have some level of drive towards achieving more.
Well, saying high standards. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But the expectation, that's right. Because if I've got an expectation of a future anything, is that right?
Yes, that makes
a future.
That makes 100% sense to me.
But it's a future. An expectation is a future notion. Yeah.
It's something.
It's
a way
unknown.
that you think is.
An expectation is unknown. Is that fair enough to say? An expectation is unknown.
Yeah, because then once
so it's not
happened,
real.
Well, once it's a belief. A belief is not real.
That's right.
Because
do you believe that there is such thing as fear? Do you believe in fear? Do you believe fear is a real thing?
I believe we feel fear. Yeah.
Okay. So, this bloke never watches any movies. There's this movie that Will Smith played. I think it was called
iRobot.
Men in Black.
Hey, by the way, saw that whole thing.
Which?
The clap.
Oh, did ya? So good.
Now I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry, off topic, guys. You will understand in the time to come.
6 weeks.
6 weeks, that long?
Nah. Well, less?
Yeah.
I was going to say longer.
Fuck, you lost my train of thought. Will Smith, I think it was called
Men in Black.
Earth or something like that, where he's in space or some shit. I'll find the movie. And it was actually not a great movie, but it had a great saying in it, which I fucking loved. No, it was definitely pre-slap.
Pre-slap.
Definitely pre-slap. And he was playing with his son. Him and his son were the two main characters. And long story short, there was this quote in it that he said that fear doesn't exist. There is no such thing as fear. Fear is a preconceived notion in your mind of a future event that hasn't happened or may never happen. To believe in fear is insanity. It's not real. Danger is real, but fear is not. Fear is a made-up belief. So then on that notion, he's pretty much saying that fear doesn't exist. You are scared of a future thing.
Yeah.
I am fearful of something that may or may not ever happen. So it's not real.
That is what it is.
Yeah. So then the same could almost be said about an expectation.
But hold on. So let me stop you on the fear thing. Because, yes, it isn't real. But it's not to say that you can't feel... Dude, have you ever had anxiety?
Yep.
About something that was all in your own head?
Yep.
And it never happened?
Yeah.
And you're like, and then after it, you're like, oh my God.
Think about a difficult phone call. Like people avoid making a phone call or having that conversation, a confrontational conversation, because of what they make up in their head it going. And then when they actually have that conversation, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but you know what? That's like...
That's a level of anxiety, isn't it?
Yes.
You're being
that's-
anxious about that phone call and making it up in your head.
But that's a...
So then, okay, anxiety is not real, you know?
That's the route you're going down.
Yeah, that's right. I know what you're saying. They're not real. None of them. All of them. Get rid of all of them. Everything's fake. Fake news.
That's actually called Adler psychology.
Yeah.
Some guy named Adler who created the psychological path, I would say, because like you have Freudian psychology, which is the traditional one. So like probably your parents gave you anxiety, PTSD, or trauma or something. Adler psychology is the other way around. You do not wish to call him. That's why you create in your mind the anxiety that you don't want to call him. Like it's like reverse psychology. So it's called Adler psychology.
Yeah, I was referring to more so like manufacturing a situation so bad in your own mind of like this means that, and then if that... Here's a great question. What are some of your flaws? And you'll understand why I'm asking in a moment. But what are some of your flaws?
I care too much.
Shut up. What are some of your flaws? Because most people, like, it gives you a really good indication of someone's level of awareness. And I'll let you think about it for a moment while I share this. I asked that because I believe one of my flaws is I overthink. And that's completely related to what I was talking about. So I've had situations in my life where I have thought about something and no new information has come to light regarding that particular circumstance. And I have gone in my own head and turned it into something so far in one direction, and then felt anxious about it and thought, oh my God, I've got to do something here. When, like, initially I didn't have to do anything. Nothing changed other than the things I've thought about. So there's been no external factors that have changed. I've received no more information. There's nothing has changed from the outside. Everything was internal. And just from my own thinking, I've gone and created this whole massive situation, felt anxious as shit about it, and then realized that I'm creating all this in my own head. And then once I have the realization, everything goes away. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, is that real?
No, it wasn't. You made it up.
Yeah, but like the feeling was real to me at the time.
Is depression real?
Is depression a real thing?
Yeah, like, I mean, what makes you depressed?
Expectations.
Yeah, and your thoughts. You know, it's like you said it the other day, like if you don't believe it to be real, how can it affect you? Tate says that all the time. Like it's just like, I don't believe that depression is a real thing. If you're depressed, go to the gym and get a six pack. And then tell me if you're still depressed after that. He's just saying to work, it's not to have a six pack, it's to put in the work and get the accomplishment of doing something. And then you're not thinking about whatever's making you sad, you're thinking about the task at hand. But, you know, on that notion, if we're going down that path of, you could almost say almost every thought or belief it's not real. It's almost being made up. It's something that you make up in your head.
Well, what makes something real?
The moment.
What do you mean?
Like
How do you
right
know?
now, so
what's real? How do I know if something's real?
Well, yeah. So you're going to go that deep and say, like, oh, how do we know we're not plugged into the matrix right now?
Nah.
It's like that
You reckon
theory.
we're plugged into the matrix?
It's also that theory. You could say we weren't here 5 minutes ago. How could you tell? How can you prove to me we weren't here 5 minutes ago? That this isn't just fucking made up. Everything 5 minutes ago, we were born into existence.
What?
Yeah.
Because you have memories.
They'll put there. Everything you are thinking and being right now was planted 5 minutes ago. Before that, nothing existed. You didn't exist. Prove it. Prove the theory wrong.
You could have recordings.
Never. They were all put there. Everything has been made. Just, I suppose, the whole, like, again, imagine the actual movie. Have you watched The fucking Matrix?
Yeah, I did like a year ago.
Did you?
Yeah, on the plane.
Bullshit.
Where was I going? I was going to Europe.
The first Matrix film?
Yeah.
Not the latest ones, the very first one. Did you like it?
And then I panicked because I was like, how's no one freaking out?
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Like, did you like it?
I didn't finish it. Oh, fuck. I watched most of it.
That doesn't count. You can't not
I fell
fucking.
asleep.
Okay, I'll watch that. What's it called?
Super pumped.
Super pumped. If you watch The Matrix.
Yeah, but you
The
watched
whole
Super Pumped
Matrix.
first.
All right, I will. But you're going to watch The Matrix. If you don't, we're not doing another podcast.
Nah, well, I'll watch it now. I'll watch it live on the podcast. Nah, I'll watch it.
So, anyway, the whole theory behind The Matrix, and you should watch it. It's actually a really good movie.
When they think they're plugged into those.
Yeah, I actually didn't understand it the first time I watched it. I was like, "What the fuck is I just watched?" So I didn't get
and
it.
everyone's.
And then after I got it, I was like, "What? That's an amazing concept." Because you would not know right now if you were plugged into the Matrix. You would not know that it's real. What we are experiencing is real or it's fake. The taste of water. Why does everything taste like chicken? Everything tastes like chicken because the computer algorithm can't get the taste of chicken properly, so they just make everything taste like chicken. So how do you prove that? You can't.
That's actually a very solid theory.
Which one? The 5 minutes ago or the Matrix?
I mean, your theory that you're saying you can't prove anything. Because there's also a theory about while the universe is expanding, what happens after the universe expands too much? So like everything goes back to the Big Bang, and what happens after that? And there's a theory about there are multiple brains that think the universe is them, but there's like everything can happen inside of that brain. It's a very strange theory, but you can actually like mathematically like pinpoint it. Yeah, something like that.
You can deep dive into this shit. Like, do you know what blows my mind? The universe.
And how big it is.
Just I can't fathom. Like, have you ever seen any of those video clips or anything where it zooms out? They go, "This is Earth," and then it zooms out and go, "This is our solar system.
Yeah.
This is our sun. All right, this is our Milky Way," and it's like keeps going. This is our galaxy. All right, like this galaxy is made up of trillions, not billions, trillions of solar systems of other galaxies, and then it zooms out again. And then that is made up of trillions of billions and it's just like a speck, like this.
Yeah. And then you're like,
and then it's like, hang on, we're in that.
Yeah, all the way
in. And it's like, we aren't a fucking speck of dust.
The planet.
We're not a speck of dust, exactly. That planet.
Like ants.
And it's like, it's not even ants.
Yeah. But like then you think, how small is an ant?
when we aren't a fucking like microscopic tick in the grand scheme of things. That blows my mind, that shit. When I look at that and it's just like, wow.
Sometimes it's really good, like it's a good grounding exercise as well to bring you back and make you realise like some of the shit you're worrying about.
Does it really matter?
You know, your car not starting one morning. Dude, I completely spat the dummy. I was fucking
Are you swearing your head off?
Huh?
Swearing your head off?
I couldn't believe no one was answering the door, man. Do you know what I mean? I could not
At
believe
8:30?
It was like 9:15, man. I was outside for ages.
Surely people aren't sleeping. On a weekday.
On a weekday, yeah. A couple of days ago.
Do you reckon they're making $1 million in a day?
No.
No chance.
No,
There's
maybe,
no fucking chance those people are. Wake the fuck up.
No chance.
You said you did your post the other day. People are still sleeping. People are sleeping.
People are still sleeping.
They're asleep. Don't fucking wake them. Let them sleep.
Here's the thing. Most people don't even think about their expectations because they're asleep.
Yeah.
They're just rolling through life.
What about like expectation? It happens all the time. You could have expectations on people. Say you buy your friend or your girlfriend or a partner a present. Oh, fuck, they're going to love this present. Actually, I bought my missus a sick present. When's this episode going to air?
When's this one going to air?
Yeah.
Early March.
Okay.
March.
So there's no way she'll hear it before.
Nah.
Okay, so I'm going to give away before this has actually happened. If any of you fuckers say anything, I'll find out where you live.
It's all you.
That's it.
It's all.
So my missus is a massive Kylie Minogue fan.
I thought you were going to say Taylor Swift, man. I was going to flip.
Nah, my sister is.
Yeah?
Yeah. She's a Swiftie. Come on, bro. You don't know the fucking lingo? What's wrong with you? Shit.
Wow. Swiftie.
I reckon we could do a podcast on Swiftie.
Yeah, we'll get her on.
It fucking changed her life, that's for sure. No, but quite well. Going wide, going left. We're going sideways again. What she's accomplished is pretty amazing. She's a $1 billion artist. She went against the norm. She took on the big record labels and she won. And she has fans
That fanatics.
that are fucking next level. Dude.
Yeah, it's kinda
next
scary.
level. Yeah.
So, okay.
It's almost cult like. Like
It is very cult-like.
if we went to a Swiftie concert and we're not dancing, people will fucking throw chairs at us. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I've heard
here?
of people getting. You know how the whole thing
Look
she
at
did
that.
with Scooter Braun, and they re-recorded all the songs. You know that whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah, as in
And
because
then there's Taylor's version on Spotify.
Yeah, that's right. Because the record labels are doing something.
Well,
or something.
dude, I don't know. There's two sides to that story anyway.
Yeah, can you
But-
elaborate? Because
Yeah,
people from home and me.
Yeah, of course. So you need to understand the way the music industry works. Yeah, like people sign up to record labels go do everything for you, and then, and apparently she grew up fairly wealthy as well. Like she had good parents, as in that their parents had done very well for themselves. And then she told them she wants to be a singer when she was 15, and they went and sorted out a record label so they could, connect her with the right people, and then they went and turned her into who she is. Supposedly, I don't know the story in full detail. Not really a fan.
Yeah.
I don't dislike her, but I'm not
not buying a ticket.
definitely, dude. My
I almost would want to go.
my
I almost
cousin's
wanna go.
going. He's taking his
Almost
missus.
wanna.
Missus is a die. If they listen to this, they're gonna laugh. His missus is a die-hard fan.
She's
like,
a Swiftie.
Dude,
My sister's
she
going. My sister
is
called me
a
up.
Swiftie.
My sister called me up because Amex had special VIP access to get tickets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she calls me up. She goes, "Hey, do you have an Amex?" I go, "Fuck, do I have an Amex?"
Do I?
You're fucking wrong with
they
you.
call
Of
me
course I do.
George Amex.
That's it. And proudly brought to you by Amex. Yeah. thanks for the sponsor.
Thank you. I'm working.
So, yeah, she calls me up. She goes, "Yeah, because they get early release to VIP tickets at the MCG." I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Here, take it. Buy tickets. Do what you need to do." Anyway, she ended up buying VIP tickets, and they were they're in the thousands. I can't remember. It was a few thousand for each. She got two. She's got 2 nights. She's not just going one night. She's going 2. So she bought VIP for one of them,
watch
and
the
then
same
she
thing
bought
twice.
to watch the same thing twice. And then she bought tickets just in the nosebleeds as well. So to just sit there and enjoy the musical experience that is Taylor Swiftie. Okay. I don't know how we got to that topic, but she's, regardless, what she's you were talking about her story, but what she's created is phenomenal. How she's gone about it.
Yeah, but there's another side to it.
Yeah, okay.
And a lot of people say, well, particular. Do you know Candace Owens?
Yeah,
Sort of black lady.
Yeah.
She's probably between mine and your age. She's a big American, influence, I guess. And she's actually very intelligent, and she's also very. I don't know what the term is, but she's not anti, but she just doesn't buy into this whole pronoun stuff.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? She's
So she's one of us.
a lot of what she, yeah, one of us. A lot of what she speaks is logical. Yeah,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
exactly. What I'm
Yes,
talking about. She's been on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, she's cool. I
She's
really like her.
she's very smart. The way she speaks and some of the things she says, I
know
buy into
exactly
it.
who you're
And then I
talking to.
watched a video that she made about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And she talks about Taylor Swift and who she really is. And apparently she's a nutbag.
I could believe that.
Yeah, apparently she's an absolute nutbag. I'm gonna get my house egged after this. Everyone listening, this is all the Swifties.
Sorry, Renee, my sister, she's listening out.
Sorry, Renee. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so
a nutbag.
apparently she's a nutbag, and that's why she's had so many relationships. Apparently she's like a 15-year-old girl, and she's like 33.
But here's the thing, right, with some of those people, and I kind of understand it. If you are that good at that particular thing in your life, be it F1 driving, music, business, whatever it is, sport, if you're like the pinnacle of the food chain, you are the number one thing, you kind of have to be weird. Think about Michael Jackson.
I didn't say weird.
No, but what?
I said nutbag.
Yeah, well, okay, crazy. But think about Michael Jackson. He's one of the best musicians to ever grace the planet, right? But the guy was a strange cat, yeah. Like there was something not there that was normal, and he was so obsessed and so focused on what he was doing, his craft and everything, that he revolutionized the industry. His music's going to be timeless. My kids will listen to Michael Jackson and go, "This is a sick song," and he was so much of a freak in that aspect of his life that he had pushed so far beyond the realm of what's normal that I think it affected the other aspect of his life, the normal aspect that goes, no, you got to bring it back down to earth. This is what people do. I genuinely believe he slept with kids. I genuinely believe that. I don't believe it was sexual, but I think he slept with them thinking, no, they're just children, we're just hugging. Do you know what I mean? I think in his mind, he thought this was an okay thing for a male adult to do. Children are beautiful and innocent, whereas everyone else were like, you're a freak, you're sleeping with kids. You shouldn't be doing that. So that's...
So you don't think he did?
I don't know.
You don't think he touched toddlers?
I don't think so. Who knows? I don't think so, but that's what I reckon. Based off what I'm saying is he was so strange in that aspect of his life because he was so full on the other. And it could be the same with her. It could be the same where she is a bit like that, where she's that way inclined. And I've heard that theory as well. You know, let's look at all her songs. They're all about, she's 34 years old, she's single, or she's with a bloke now, but she's been single for the longest time. All her songs are about breaking up, about independent.
Dude, I've said her songs are ridiculously sad.
Yeah, and they're all about all these negative things, and it's like, man...
But they're catchy.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, exactly right. I mean, it could be completely innocent too, mind you. Right? She's not exactly the pinnacle of what a woman should be, but then the way she portrays herself and her music and everything else is the reason why she is the way she is. I've heard that theory too.
So Candace Owens goes down this whole thing of explaining that every time something goes wrong, she
has a hissy fit.
She has a hissy fit and turns herself into the victim. And she explains the whole thing with Scooter Braun and how...
So what happened with that again, with the record labels? Do you know what happened?
Yeah, so the guy was going to sell them and she didn't do anything, so the other guy bought them. Something along those lines.
Scooter bought them?
Bought the rights to them.
Yeah,
so Scooter Braun bought them.
Yeah.
And then she flipped out and did this whole thing and turned everyone against Scooter Braun, who apparently, I don't know enough about
I saw Scooter at the 10X Growth Conference. He was a speaker there. Fantastic.
Apparently
he was one of the best speakers on the event.
Apparently he's a super smart guy. Like he's not you know what I mean? And she makes it sound like, and then everyone turned on Scooter Braun.
Yeah, he was a great guy. To
the extent where, when I didn't know who he was and someone told me the story, I thought, fuck, that guy seems like a dick. Do you know what I mean? That's how much they place him in that thing. And then she goes and positions herself like a victim, and then her whole fan base goes and attacks that person and anyone who backs that person.
Yeah.
Dude, I've heard of people who have been listening to a Taylor Swift song and they aren't listening to the Taylor's version, and a Swiftie will see them and have a dig at them.
Yeah.
And it's like relax. Like, how much of a fan can you be?
Yeah. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Apparently,
so what do they play on the radio?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to radio in a long time.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious what they would play. Would they play Scooter's version or her version?
She is so... I would assume it's Scooter's.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. She is so influential, though, that their concern is that because she's a little bit crazy, that she's never going to find a relationship, she's never going to settle down, and then she's going to get into politics. Because if you notice, she's already started to play a little bit of a role in politics.
I don't follow it enough to know.
Yeah, she's already started to try and voice her opinion about particular things.
Yeah.
And
the Swifties will vote.
The Swifties will vote. They said if Taylor Swift backed a political party, would you vote for them? And 40% of Americans said yes. 40%. That's a lot, man.
It's a landslide.
That's a lot, dude. For because Taylor Swift is backing them, not her running. Just because she's backing a particular party.
Imagine she ran. You'd be fucked.
Yeah, so I reckon she's going to go down that route and have an impact on the world. We're Swifties.
Swifties, eh?
They're a real thing.
Crazy.
It's not an expectation.
Hey,
apparently her concerts go off.
Go off?
Yeah, apparently.
I'll take it.
Oh, look, I thought about it.
You got an Amex?
I do.
Yeah, good. We'll get one together.
I'll get you one.
Well, I mean, what if she sold the MCG out, bro? She sold out the MCG twice or 3 times or something stupid.
She sold out the MCG. That's 100,000 people.
MCG. Now, I don't know if it's the whole way around. Do you know what I mean? I think they it's like a third
Oh, okay.
of it.
They
You know,
lose, yeah, because when she puts the thing, they lose that back
But
piece.
still, if you're doing
Okay, what's she sell? 50, 60, 70,000?
Probably.
3 nights in a row in one city.
Yeah.
Then go to Sydney. Then go to Brisbane. Then go to...
She's making bank. She's making bank. Mate, if you're doing any event like that at the MCG, like you're cleaning up, whatever it is, you're a big deal. Anyway, off Swifty. Back to the actual topic. We'll talk about when this episode's going to air, because I'm going to tell you what I got my wife.
Oh, yes.
I'll tell you, I know it went sideways. That's what I got my wife for her birthday. So she is a massive Kylie Minogue fan.
Yeah.
She has been her whole life, because when she was, her sister's 9 years older than her or something like that. So her sister used to listen to Kylie Minogue growing up. And then as a result, Nicole loves Kylie Minogue. So Kylie now has a residency in Vegas, and it's it's at the Venetian. She does weekly shows or a couple of shows a month, whatever it works out. And I have bought tickets, and they're all sold out, mind you. But I'm a bit of a mover and shaker, and I was able to get a couple of VIP tickets. Called up Kylie, sent her a text on
in Vegas?
In Vegas.
So by the time
this airs,
you'll have gone to Vegas?
No. I would have given her the present.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, when are you going?
May.
Oh, okay, that's not that far at all.
Yeah, so it's not too far. But they were the only tickets I could actually get back then, because that's what I was able to get my hands on. Anyway, it's good tickets, VIP, sitting on a table, so it's going to be pretty cool. And we got tickets there. Obviously, we've got to fly there. Got business class. Like I've gone. It's going to be sick. Now, I have an expectation that when I give her that present, she's going to be like, what the fuck? She's going to start crying. Champagne will fall from the ceilings. It'll be streamers and everything, fireworks. Yeah. She'll be like, you're the best husband in the world. This is amazing. I don't deserve you. Husband of the year. What else can we say? Let me give you a back rub. I don't know. Just everything. What do you want for dinner?
Yeah.
I am cooking for you. I'm going to bring you lunch tomorrow at work. Do you need a foot massage?
Yeah.
Let me iron your underwear.
Oh.
I don't know. Those are my expectations.
Right? They are some pretty
big expectations, yeah?
Expectations.
They are high. I'm expecting lunch. Now, what happens if I give her that present? She's like, I don't really like flying.
Or what if she's like, that's mad.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks.
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
That's something cool we can do.
What do you want for dinner?
Can you get some eggs on the way home? Can you get some eggs and milk on the way home?
What are you going to do?
I'll fucking flying head kick to that, flying roundhouse kick to the face. That's what I'm going to do. No, but that's right. So that's my expectation, that this is a pretty cool present. It's very thoughtful, all right? An experience that we'll both get to have. But what happens when, or if, she goes, oh, no, that's all right, thanks.
She's not, sure.
She's not. She's fucking better. No, I mean, but it's okay. So I've put effort and thought and everything behind that. Now, I'm sure she'll be very excited, knowing her and what I'm putting forward. Yeah, she'll it'll be a positive reaction. But again, I'm assuming that that's going to be her reaction. She might not. She might be like, oh man, why'd you do that? I just wanted to wait till she came to Melbourne and I'll just go to the concert there. I'd rather you have done this. I'd rather you have done that. Why did you go down that path? So I suppose in that moment, I've put in a lot of effort. It's obviously cost a lot of money to go and do all that. I've tried to be thoughtful in that moment and everything. So I've got an expectation that I've done all these really nice things. I'm expecting her to really be happy with what I've done for her.
Appreciative.
Yeah, appreciative and all that sort of stuff. So if it doesn't happen, then how do I feel?
Well, you're going to feel like shit.
Yeah, I'll probably feel pretty bummed.
Yeah, you're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I just did all this.
And then I'm going to call you up and say, hey, you want to go to see Kylie in Vegas?
Yeah. Like that.
And you're like, fuck it, let's do it. How good's that? Are you serious?
And then you
go see Kylie. Fucking there.
Because your expectations are going to be like, this guy's probably going to say no.
This guy is going to say no.
Yeah.
And then you're just like over the moon. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be the way the story goes right now. How funny! I'm going to call you up like, hey, do you want to come? You want to come to Vegas and see Kylie? He's like, bro, I thought you'd never ask.
In my head, I'm ready to go to Vegas. That's it.
Change the name of the ticket.
I'm trying to work out how I can get Nicole to start hating Kylie in the next. What do I have? 4 weeks?
Yeah, you got 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I got 3 weeks. Start posting propaganda everywhere.
I've got another one. I've got a great one actually for you. And this happened to us. And we were both shitty.
You and I?
Yeah. Last year.
Yeah. A lot of stuff happened last year.
A lot of sick shit happened last year. Last year we had our final event for the year. And we did a construction success conference.
Okay.
We had over 500 guys, 500 people register for a free event.
Yeah.
So, and we also had paid tickets to that same event, of which 15 people bought tickets for. All right, so about $1,500 worth of money coming through the door. When the event landed on the day, we got so many registrations. We thought we had a venue booked. We thought, fuck, we've got 500 people registering. We need to go bigger. So we went and changed the venue location based off the registrations that we were getting. Registration day, the day rocks up. We're pumped, we're ready, we're set up. Everything is good to go. 50 people rock up. And we've got a room that has the capacity to hold
It was about
probably
set,
two.
It was set.
It was
for
set
about
originally
150.
Yeah, it had the capacity to hold.
Oh, you
300,
could have
400.
300-400 easy.
Yeah, but we actually pegged it back and put it down to about 150.
Yeah, because we thought, that's a really good
example, right? And then we had 50 people outside, and we're like, for fuck's sake. Anyway, show must go on. So I think we did a pretty good. The funny thing is, we said it was our best presentation on stage.
Oh, dude,
the content we created.
Yeah, but hold on.
I actually had a chip on my shoulder because I'm like, I'm going to give these guys the best fucking show they've ever had in their life.
But is that the whole expectation conversation? Because the reality is,
didn't you not expect more people?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But were you not, on some level, disappointed as well? But
Yeah.
it's the ability. I think this is where it was our ability to do what needed to be done regardless.
And that's what we did.
Yeah,
and
and
the
that's what
show
we
went
did.
on.
And
That's
we
what I
didn't
mean.
we didn't go and put on a half-assed show.
No.
We didn't go and
Went
we got
all
up there and we delivered.
I was wrecked at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I was tired. I was tired. It was a big day. I gave
Yeah.
everything. And we still made sales and it was still a good event. But we looked at it and go, fuck, like we were expecting more. We were expecting over 100 people at least. As a minimum, we were expecting 100. At the most, we thought we're going to have to get more chairs in, which we also had the contingency to do. If we needed to bring in an extra 50, 100 chairs, we could have done that as well. We had that ability to do so.
Yeah, we're definitely prepared for that.
Yeah. As I said, unfortunately, it didn't go that way. But you look at it and you go, all right, well, still good learnings. We still put our game face on and we delivered. And it was still a successful event in that regard because we still made sales. The event wasn't at a loss. And we can also use that learning in the next one as well.
Okay, so I think because there are people who have had a similar situation. And I'll say this, I've done this. Dude, first time I ever did an event, ever, did a marketing workshop.
Online or in person?
No, in person.
Yeah.
And this was maybe 2-3 years ago.
Before I met you?
I reckon before I met you,
Yeah.
Before I met you.
Yeah.
Either that or we just met, but
Yeah.
we didn't really speak. And I did a workshop.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where to hire a room. I went and hired a room at a library.
In a library?
In a library, dude. Went and hired a boardroom in a library.
Did you have to be quiet?
Hey?
have to be
It was
quiet?
upstairs.
Okay.
And I went and hired the library had actually closed. So they let me in and then they closed and I had my cousin at the front buzzing people up. And I think I had 15 people register.
Yeah. Oh, register.
Yeah, so I was like, I had this little boardroom set up and I was like, cool, I got this whole presentation. It was a 2-hour thing, like 2-hour workshop. Free. One person showed up. And to some level, I got disheartened, dude. But I still sat down and I reframed it to her. I was like, this is like a whole strategy session. Just you normally charge X amount of dollars for this. You know what I mean? And you're going to get it for free now because we can actually dive into your business. But yeah, on some level, I was disheartened. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck, like, okay, that didn't work. Like, you know what I mean? And then
Never doing that again.
Well, I wasn't going to go down that exact same route again, no, because it cost me money to do it. It cost me X amount of, like, you know what I mean? I had to go higher. Dude, you got to pay for a room in the library. Yeah? Well, I think it was like $100 or $150. Shit room. Horrible room. But yeah, on some level, there was some level of disheartened. And then you get better. And then when something doesn't go your way, you learn how to use that to do. Because I would say now, for this upcoming event, which by the time this comes out, it'll be done, we're both pretty driven.
Yeah.
To
Chip on the shoulder.
making sure, like, okay, cool. Now I kind of we've flipped the script.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. You know, now it's kind of a driver now.
And we actually don't have anywhere near as many registrations as what we did the first time.
Well, no,
however,
we changed up a lot.
we changed up the strategy as far as what the ads were concerned, but I feel that the quality are getting a lot better now. It's more the people we actually wanted. I think previously, I reckon every man in his dog. Every dog in his what?
Every dog in his cat.
Every dog in his man. We're registering.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of people who weren't in the niche or the target market that we wanted to come to the event potentially. And also there were other factors like the time of year, I think was a huge contributing factor.
Massive.
And I had about 40 people genuinely email through to the team saying, sorry, we can't make it. Now, people like that, you're never going to email someone to say, sorry, you can't make it if you had no intention of coming in the first place. No. So we probably still had a show rate if all of those people that emailed me, I reckon closer to 80 to 100.
Yeah, so it would have been close to 20%.
So we probably did have that show rate there. I just reckon the time of the year is what killed it the most, and probably location. So we learned from those, but still in that moment we had the expectation, man, how cool is it going to be when we get 300 people in a room? We want to fill a room full of 300-400 people, and we would absolutely have crushed it.
How do we do stadiums?
Sorry?
How do we do stadiums?
How big are stadiums?
So how do we do stadiums?
Yeah. Oh, we're playing so small. Go call up Swifty. Say, oi, you need to move your date.
Yeah, because that
We're
day...
We're coming in. We're going to show you how it's done. Let's go Harvey's on the stage.
Yeah, I'll have the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then...
Jeez, sell to all the Swifties. Get your Amexes ready. Proudly brought to you by Swifty. Thank you.
Sponsored by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, so in that moment we were both a bit discouraged, both disheartened, but we still went out there and did our thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but again, I'd put that down to like grit.
And training though.
And training.
We were trained.
Yeah,
we knew what to do. We weren't disheartened
yeah,
by it.
we were fine. We had lunch there, like it was normal. It was a normal day.
Hey, how many motherfuckers would have stopped after that? We're doing it again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And even myself.
And it's free. It's another free event. Like this shit costs money. It isn't. It's a free event. Doesn't mean it doesn't cost me anything.
I gave the example of myself, and I've worked with many people who have gone and tried to do what we're doing now, and they didn't get the first leg up. And you know many of them as well. And they didn't get the first leg up, and then they're like, stop. And all of a sudden, it's like, you need to go again, man. Like that's not how this works. You can fall, but get up.
Yeah.
You can't just stay down.
Yeah. And I think as well for us, we'd had so many previous successful events. So there was an expectation, again, that it was going to come up and go, hey, we've done this. The first one was a great hit. The second, third and fourth one, amazing. So this one, amazing.
Yeah. It was an expectation. Do you see, I don't see that as a bad expectation. I have that same expectation now.
Yeah. It hasn't changed. How funny.
I have that exact same expectation.
It's like you say, we've got a quarter of the registrations, like every single one of those people are going to be there.
We're going to do everything to get as many as we can.
Okay? You need...
No, but like, okay, that's a really good point. That expectation wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Imagine I'd had the expectation that this is going to be a disaster. I'm scared about my presentation. I don't want to do this. This is a waste of my time. All these freeloaders are fucking coming to an event that I'm spending thousands on. How's that serving us
Oh.
in any way? So that's what I'm saying, like having a positive expectation of something, like even now I bought this amazing experience for me and my wife to go on. Why would I think like that? You're laughing because for me and Robbie to go on. But why would I sit there thinking, Kylie, thanks for the sponsor, Kylie. Thanks for the free tickets. But why would I sit there and think she's going to hate it? This is going to be shit. I'm going to put that out there in the universe. She's going to want to not leave home. You know what I mean? And it doesn't serve me in any way to think like that, because then I'm going to give her I give it to her and I've got that expectation, and then she's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, really? I didn't think you'd actually want to go. I've kind of already told Robbie we're going. You know? And then that would bring her experience, maybe that would bring her experience down because I'm the fucking drainer. Do you know what I mean? And say we went into the success conference with that low expectation, then we would be a drain on that 150, 200, 500 people that rocked up to the event.
Yeah.
Not wanting to.
I 100% agree, yeah.
Maybe we wouldn't have made the sale. So I think in every scenario, having a high expectation is generally a good thing.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't think
I think it's a balancing thing. And I think it's a case-by-case, my opinion, case-by-case thing. But I think it can ruin particular aspects of life for you.
AFL Grand Finals. You go and support your team. You've got the expectation that you can win. You put everything on it. All your hopes, all your dreams.
Yeah, you'd be shattered.
Yeah, you'd be shattered. So that's the consequence of it. Can you deal with the consequence is the question. If you can deal with the
Here's the thing,
consequence,
though,
then I think
if you
should be fine.
If you genuinely thought, like, so I think we can sometimes think we have an expectation and it's not an expectation. Because if you genuinely, like if your team was up, Hawthorn, right? If Hawthorn in 2014, 13, whenever they were good, was it around then?
Come on, mate.
Was
We're talking about the most successful team in the last fucking 50 years.
Relax. You're right. But I'm calm, spot, man. We've had a hard run.
Maybe this year's your year.
I'm not getting my hopes up.
You got low expectations?
There's I'm not even going to talk about it. Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So in their prime, right? Well, not 2012. They won.
Yeah, 13, 14, 15 was when they won.
Okay,
it.
so
12 they got in there too.
Let's say 13.
Yeah.
And they're in their prime, they're playing their best footy, and then they go and verse second on the ladder. And if they win, you're like, kind of like, my expectation was they're going to pump this team. This team's playing really poorly. We're unbelievably on fire. Then your expectations are going to win. You're not that pumped about that. But then you win the granny against a top tier team. You're pumped about that. It's almost because you wanted it to happen, but you didn't expect it to happen. Does that make sense? Like there's a level of expectation where you really genuinely expect something, it removes any emotion you can feel about it. Like it genuinely removes all emotion. Yeah, if you expect, dude, how much people, there is people in the world, in a particular country right now that had you poured them a glass of water this clean, they would be stoked. You do not even get the slightest bit of emotion when clear water comes out of your taps.
I get pissed off if it's not filtered.
You get... Why?
No fucking bubbles. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you're like, what is this?
Tap water. What's wrong with you?
But what is that? Expectation. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like real expectation leads to disappointment. Whereas high hopes, because when your hopes come true, you're wrapped. Do you know what I mean? Like you hope your team wins a granny. But if you expect your team to beat last on the ladder, you're not wrapped about it. You're kind of shitty if they don't. What the fuck? True?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then it's almost like real, genuine expectation removes the emotion from whatever it is that you... Yeah, because the reality is you don't expect Nicole to do everything you just mentioned. You expect her to appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like that's all. You just think, think she's going to be wrapped.
So I'm not getting my foot rubbed, is what you're telling me.
And your jock's iron. No.
Shit, I better rethink
Oh, look, you might. And you'd be wrapped if you did. You'd be like, this is sick. Why would you be wrapped? Because you didn't have the expectation.
Put the photo in the show notes.
Yeah.
How good is that? How good would that be?
Photo in the show notes.
What's
Just
your-
know
what's
that
your-
by the time you hear this, George has he's already worked out whether this is work-proof or not.
Yeah. Or whether Robbie's going to come with me to see Kylie at 8.
Decision's been made.
Of kind. Oh, man.
That
Dude, imagine how funny that would be.
you and I
I'll call you up.
can't
Like, oi, we're going Kylie.
I'll get one ticket. Come down.
No, I'm saying if Nicole
I'll
just
do it.
spits the dummy and says, "No, I don't want to go anymore." That's it. I'm a Swiftie now.
Look.
They don't do Kylie anymore.
If I've got to step,
I'm a Swiftie.
I'm a Swiftie. If I've got to step up, I'll step up.
Cool.
If I've got to go to Vegas, I'll go.
Fuck, imagine what a sick podcast that'll be.
We'll end up at the 10X conference.
We'll be the 10X conference.
We-
We'll be on the main. We'll be on the main
hold
stage.
The 10X conference.
What's your expectation for this podcast?
That's a great question.
Do you hope that it's going to be a top 10 podcast?
I expect.
Do you
I
expect
expect people
to be a
expect
top
people
10 podcast? Do you
give us
expect it to
reviews.
do? Yeah, we expect you. We have an
Yeah,
expectation.
just subscribe to the channel.
And then if that doesn't happen, they're disappointed.
Yeah, and if it did, you'd be like, of course it happened. I expected it. What else did you think was going to happen?
Okay, but it's okay. So you're persistent with this. You know, we'll be 20 episodes down.
Yeah.
Where are we? 19 or 20? I think next one's 20.
This is 18 or 19.
Shit,
18, 19?
something like that. Who knows? Iggy's not keeping track. He's watching Swiftie videos.
16, 17. This is 19.
19.
Yeah.
So next one's 20. 1% club.
Yeah.
Now, that's
okay,
not a fart in the wind for what other people have done. People are up to like
Thousands.
thousands, and we're doing 20. And I bet you when they had 20, they're not having that expectation because it's like you see all these big podcasts, all of them. They all started. They all did 1 to 20 at some stage, and I guarantee you they didn't have 200,000 followers at that moment listening to every single word rated number 1 in the planet.
No, it takes time.
It takes time, absolutely, and it's persistence. So let's just say, again, we'll go back to an example. Okay, our conferences. Okay, maybe it does take us 10 free conferences before we get 4,000 fucking people at the event. Do you know what I mean?
Let me give you another contextual example about the podcast, okay?
Sick.
We get every now and again someone drops a message, drops a comment, hey guys, loving the podcast, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, hey, look at this.
We always
you
send
know?
it to each other. How funny. It's
Hey,
like,
look
guys, I want you to
look
know, whenever we get a comment, a message, anything, the first one to see it,
It's cool.
whether it's
Yeah.
in our messages, in the podcast messages, we screenshot it and send it to each other straight away.
It's cool. It's a cool thing.
Check out this mad dog.
Yeah.
Let's give him a prize. Or her.
Let's give them a prize.
Let's get him dinner to Gimbal.
It's a cool thing, right?
Or is it? Is it Gimbal or Gimlet?
Gimlet.
Gimlet. Let's get him dinner to Gimlet.
So,
Gotcha.
okay, now compare, because that's why, because we don't really have an expectation of people of that level of engagement. Now, if Joe Rogan did a podcast and someone commented saying, hey man, like, you know, really enjoying the pod, what do you think he would, do you think he would feel there's that level of emotion we feel?
Do you reckon he screenshots it and sends it to his mate? Oh, check out
Not
this guy.
a chance.
Check out
He
these
would
guys,
get-
Robbie and George.
Because he'd get thousands of comments on every episode. He would just be like, he would freak if he got one comment, like one, not
Not a million.
yeah, not a million, and just got one. He'd be like, did it load properly? Like, what the fuck? What's going on here?
Imagine if Joe Rogan reached out to us and said, "Oh, you love the show."
I'd freak.
You'd freak.
Yeah, I'd shave my head.
Why? Wouldn't know what to do.
A rapport.
Too much.
It'd be sick.
That'd
It'd be sick. I'll just book flights straight away. And I'll just knock on
What?
his door. Knock on his door.
Just
It's like, hey, bro,
hey,
you
said-
like the show?
Cool.
I just wanted to come and say thanks.
Thanks. All right,
Let me in.
Put me on the show.
That would be so funny. But do you get what I'm saying? And what's the difference there? It's just expectations. It's not he thinks he's better than us as a human. It's not, he might have.
Yeah.
It's not anything else other than he has a particular expectation about the show based on where he's at.
They say you should never meet your heroes.
I'd meet Joe Rogan
No, yeah, I know, but you know why I say that saying? Do you know why that saying exists?
because they turn out to be,
They're not everything you make them out to be. You meet your hero and you're, oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Oh, is that
this
what you
guy's a
like?
dick.
Oh, yeah, is he? I mean, you're a wanker. Like, I thought you were this high motivational, great, amazing person. Or it's like in Swifty's point of view, she's a fucking 15-year-old girl, little spoilt brat. Maybe, and you go there thinking she's the most amazing, mature, strong-powered woman, but then she acts like a child because she doesn't get her way. You know, I ordered a salad. Throws the fucking Burger Rings out the door. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted Burger Ring.
Burger Rings instead of a salad.
I don't know.
You'd be spewing.
I'd be assuming if I got a
Salad.
salad instead of Burger Rings.
Wow. It's
It's deep shit.
gets you thinking.
Does.
All started.
Because how often do you ever think about, like, when was the last time you had a conversation like this with anybody?
Just
You know what I mean?
myself the other day. That's how we
Yeah,
started.
but further than that.
started this episode.
Well, when you need an
I
expert.
was like, I can't wait to tell George about this. I'm not going to call him and tell him. I'll just bring it up on the pod.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not often that you have conversations like this or even listen to conversations like this. You know, so it's good that you guys are listening and getting something out of it because it makes you think. How do you need to be reacting in your life when you do have expectations on things or when things don't go your way? Because they very rarely do go the way that, well, not very rarely, but they don't always go the way that you expect them to in your mind.
Or
in all
what
avenues,
else?
in business, in
Dude,
life, in everything.
There could be something that is happening all the time, that is going your way and has gone your way
Yeah.
every single time. But just because you have an expectation, you're not allowing a level of appreciation and gratitude for it.
So, okay, let's do some home play for everyone.
Come and play.
Tonight when you go to sleep, do something, be grateful for something that you take for granted.
Yeah,
All right? Something that you expect to be able to do every single day. Cook, eat, sleep. Imagine you couldn't sleep. Imagine you're an insomniac. But you go to bed every night and you go, fuck, can't wait to get to
sleep
bed.
like a champ.
I sleep like a champion too. I really do. My missus
busting my
hates
ass
me
all day.
for it. She hates me for it. She goes, it's like you come to sleep, your head hits the pillow and you're out.
Like a
Out
log.
like a light.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Sleep like a champ.
Yeah. And
You should get a whoop.
do you know how many times that word has come up today?
Oh,
I've had two separate people go to me today. Oh, I'm going to get a whoop. I've heard this new thing, whoop. I'm going to get one.
I'll give them my referral link. They'll get a free month.
Go fucking speak to Robbie. He'll sort you out.
Serious?
Yeah, dead set. Both of them. Simon and Michael. Both on separate occasions.
I walk out now,
Simon
chat.
picked me up in this morning from home because my car was at the office. And he goes,
That's what you say. He's my driver now.
this is my driver. He's my fucking little driver. He was the driver that dropped me off the other night. Anyway, so he was saying, oh, I'm going to get this whoop thing. Oh, fuck. What are you going to whoop for, man? I would get one. The only reason I don't is I don't want to wear something. Like, it looks like you've got two watches on.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I don't want to get one.
Do you know how many people say to me, what's the difference between your watches? And I'm like, well, this one doesn't tell you the time. And then they're like,
this watch
what sort of watch is that? I'm like, well, it's not a watch.
Yeah, I need the sun.
Yeah.
I just need it's a sundial.
It's so funny.
Brought to you by Whoop.
Our
A lot of
14th
sponsors.
sponsor.
A lot of sponsors today.
14th sponsor so far today. Cool, man.
Very cool. Anything else on expectations, or should we just go sideways? Should probably just go sideways on something.
Yeah, what do you got in mind? What do you have in mind?
It's too much. There's too much. Do you reckon Trump's going to win the election?
Yeah,
I do too.
100%.
Yeah.
Who's going to win? Biden.
Well, they say the only way he's going to win is if they rig it.
If they change who's sitting in the...
They're going to have to. Surely,
Someone for that party will
surely
sit.
they fucking realise that the guy's a lost cause.
You kind of feel sorry for him.
Biden?
Yeah.
I don't.
Why?
Why do you?
Just an old man.
It's all right. He's lived a good life.
Yeah. I've got a fear of getting
But
old.
then, you know what, though?
I've got a fear of getting old.
You do?
Yeah, that's what drives me now. Because I want to get old and know that, knowing that my death isn't... Like, I went and saw my... I do this more now than ever, yeah, and I've mentioned this before, but I went and saw my grandparents the other day. I just saw my grandma and grandpa wasn't there. And every time I look at them, I think, you guys go to bed not knowing if you're going to wake up tomorrow. Like, it's possible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Or the
mean?
next day is your last.
Yeah. Like, you have no idea in the
Ticker
world.
could
and
go, whatever.
yeah, anything could happen, like at that sort of age. And I think about thinking like that? Like, how can I think now so far in advance? Like, I think about 10 years and 20 years, and they can't do that. Imagine that. Imagine your biggest thing is like, how do you start living? Like, if you don't know if you're going to be here in 6 months, let alone 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I've got a fear of having unmet needs at that age, in the sense of like unfinished business.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Nothing. I could be walking back to my car after this podcast and get hit by a bus.
Well, your battery doesn't start. Oh, your battery's flat.
Nah, I've replaced it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Flip.
I would have flipped, came back in, did a podcast about fucked batteries. And took us so sideways. But yeah, I feel sorry for old people, man. I've got a soft spot for him. That's why I feel sorry for Biden, because he looks like he's got no idea what the fuck's happening.
Yeah, but then maybe he should have the foresight to go, look, I'm no longer the...
Doesn't know what's going on.
I'm no longer the best person to... Well, then fucking someone should step in and say, you're no longer the best person. We've lost confidence in your ability to fucking command the most powerful nation on the planet.
They're going to do that.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what the expectation is.
Yeah. They have to. Otherwise, they'll never have a shot, because the guy's senile. He just doesn't... I think Trump's got too much of a hold on it now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he can't win. Like, he can't lose.
The only way they can make him lose is if it's
Swifty,
genuine.
if Swifty steps in and
Swifty backs Biden.
backs Biden.
That's two powerful people, huh? Swift and Trump.
It's like they were saying, even The Rock at one stage, they were putting his name out there to run for president. The funny thing is, he would win.
The Rock would win, yeah.
As if The Rock was going against anyone.
He's
he wouldn't win.
people's... What's he? The people's champ. Yeah.
People's champ. But I'm just saying, his brand is so powerful. And so is Trump's, but I think he'd just be able to control the masses and say what they need to say here.
Why do you think The Rock's brand's so powerful?
Because he's built it over the last
Yeah, but,
20, 30
he
years.
is not... I'm big on...
You were saying that the other day
Yeah,
when he's not...
polarizing. He doesn't polarize anyone.
Yeah.
No one hates him.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have people that disagree, because he doesn't stand for anything.
Well, I remember, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
He did something.
Yeah.
What did he do to get kicked off YouTube?
He went to the... Do you know? You don't know?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, he did the Japanese suicide rainforest. You have no idea?
No.
So in Japan, there's a rainforest. I don't know what it's called. It's referred to as a suicide rainforest.
Yeah.
Reason why is because a lot of the time people go there to hang themselves.
Yeah.
And they went to look at this rainforest, and there was someone there that had just hung themselves.
Yeah,
like
right.
in the last hour.
Yeah.
And then they went next to him, and they were taping, and then he starts laughing. I've watched the whole video.
Oh, no shit.
He starts laughing. He hate you. You can see. I'm not supporting what he did, but you can see in his thing that like it was more shock than it. But he like literally he's giggling.
Yeah.
Right next to a dead person, dude.
Yeah.
That's freshly dead. Like just hung themselves within the last hour. And
I didn't know that's what it was.
yeah, and he's sitting there laughing, and then he got absolutely slandered for doing that, and he had to pull the video. You can find the video. Like,
Yeah.
it's everywhere.
Internet's forever.
Yeah, then there's nothing like the person's face is blurred out. You can't see the dead person's face. Or
But
anything.
they still loaded that. Like you don't have to. You're a fucking
Yeah,
idiot.
he
You know what I
uploaded
mean?
it. Yeah, he obviously
he-
didn't think that one through.
Yeah, but he was obviously doing it for the wrong reasons. But I remember at the time that Logan Paul, I think, was saying this on his podcast, where he did something with The Rock, and then The Rock's people came to him and said, "Look, we can't be affiliated with you for this reason." So hope you understand.
Because of what he did.
Yeah, and I think that was years later too. It wasn't like he had just started to come back, and he's like, "Look, we can't be affiliated with what you and what you're doing at the moment."
Yeah, you
because
know
it's
what?
about
I actually
brand and all that
recall
sort of stuff."
reading
Yeah.
something particular about that as well.
So it probably does have a group of people that steers him clear of controversial stuff.
Of course, everyone at that level, dude.
yeah.
You reckon like Cristiano Ronaldo? So The Rock is one of the top 10. Have we had this conversation on air
About The Rock?
about the top 10
No.
most followed people on Instagram?
No, we could do that next episode.
Yeah,
That'd be a
maybe.
pretty cool episode. And talk about each person
The
and
Rock-
what we think about them.
Yeah, The Rock is number one. One of the three
Top
or four
10.
males
Yeah.
that are in the top 10.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. He's still he was cool in the wrestling days. And he's made some good movies, he's made a lot of action type movies. He's entertaining. Do
you like his movies?
I'm not going to put it to you to go and watch one. I don't think he's
I've seen
amazing.
one.
They're
I've seen
entertaining.
one.
I've watched a lot of them.
I've seen Jumanji.
That was actually an all right movie. Like, it was entertaining. That's what I mean. He makes those types of movies. He's not winning an Oscar anytime soon. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I reckon Trump's got it in the bag.
I reckon you're right.
I would vote for him if I was in America and I was a citizen.
I don't know enough about politics to...
Me either, but from what I've seen on the outside, I probably would.
I just like how he hammers people.
Hammers them and doesn't give a fuck.
Hammers them. I watched this thing the other day, and he was handling the media like an absolute champ. Gave it to...
Good on
this
him.
lady.
There's so many fucking people that don't.
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
I kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Which part of it?
That he has the balls to stand up there and talk and call someone a fucking idiot when they're a fucking idiot, but maybe not in that language. Could you imagine a politician doing anything like that here?
No, they're too. That's because they're too trying to stay.
Yeah. They're too PC. They're too,
we live in a world that's way too PC.
Way too much.
Yeah,
way too much.
Can't say anything. Can't do anything. Don't do this. That might upset people. Da da da.
Yeah. Sick. Well, what a great episode that was.
That was a good episode.
We did go a little bit sideways at the end there.
I like it when we go sideways.
Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate you sticking around. Thank you to all our sponsors for today's episode.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
We'll send you the contracts.
Yeah, we'll send you the contracts, the EFT details. We also accept PayPal and checks. Bank check. Bank checks are still massive in America.
Google
Did you know
Pay
that?
and Apple Pay.
Google Pay. Oh, yeah, cool. Google Pay. People still write checks in America. Do you have a checkbook?
What?
I've got a checkbook.
I wouldn't even know. I once cashed a check once.
Yeah.
And it was a check to cash.
Yeah. I wrote a check, I think it was a couple of years back. I got a fine from council and they said you can pay by credit card, which is that, EFT, BPay or check. I'm like, you motherfuckers. And this was for work. They fined me for a dirty road or some shit like that. I'm like, okay, you motherfuckers, you think you're going to get one up on me?
They find Pascon?
Yeah, they find Pascon because the construction site, the
Are you
road
serious?
the road was dirty outside.
What are you supposed to do, wash the road?
Yeah, it was supposed to be, it was okay. There was a bit of dust there that we supposedly had to always clean. Anyway, it was fine. Storm in a teacup shit, but it was $500. So I thought, fuck yeah, I'm going to send you a check. So I wrote them a check, posted it in the mail, just to get the satisfaction of them, some person, millennial, opening that up and going, what do I do with this?
What do I do here?
What is it?
How do I make this work?
Do I scan the QR code? Like, where is it? I had to pay someone to walk to the bank and go, can you put this in our account, please?
Yeah, take that.
Take that.
You know, couldn't write a check, wouldn't know how.
Wouldn't
to be honest.
I'll teach you after this podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Thanks for listening, guys. As always, if you've got any value out of today, please subscribe, pass it on to a friend. Tag us in your favourite moment, shoot us a message, whatever it might be, because that's how we can grow this audience. That's how we can really affect some change and how we can make a difference in this world.
You've got to introduce yourself as Top George more often.
This is Top George signing out.
Top George checking out.
Top George out of here.
Yeah, like, review, do all that stuff. And
see you next week.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.